Operation Broken Fang ended, a few days ago now actually. What this means for us is that the game can finally receive new updates worth covering again. Train has been swapped out for Ancient in the competitive map pool, there's a new subscription-based stat tracking service called 360, there are new community-made maps and skins, and new chicken models. A quick reminder, if you have any Operation stars remaining, then you might as well exchange them for stuff. These expire on the 15th of May otherwise. I'll start by covering Ancient, since the map has had a few layout changes. Most notably, there's this new route leading out from CT spawn and into A in 2 different places. This gives the CTs a new route to approach the site from, new places to guard the site from, and will give terrorists some powerful new after-plant positions. So a huge change there. And the narrow skylight in the T-tunnels leading up to this site has been opened up. It might only be narrow, but it should enable plenty of pre-smoke and flash possibilities. And there's more stuff you can do at the far corner of the site. There's now a crate here for cover, and the ledge right next to it has been lowered, allowing for players to stand on top of it. Though there's not a lot of stuff to hide behind up there. Moving across to middle, the terrorist entrance has been widened to reduce bottlenecking and to open up a sightline between there and this corner just opposite. And now onto bombsite B, the plant area has been extended to cover the whole of the raised, patterned area. Although oddly, the area outlined on the map doesn't stretch out far enough. Valve, please fix. Changes to Nuke involve a new clip brush over this window here, which I guess is to prevent a pixel ledge exploit. But as for the other patch note, I have no idea where the misaligned light could have been. I went about the map taking numerous comparison shots, and I did this multiple times. Although it would be easy to spot misaligned lights, but the more I looked, the more I suspected every light of being misaligned in one way or another. Yet nowhere I looked did I find any changes. None. But a lot of the lights do appear off. So Valve, please fix. And there have been a few changes to the Frostbite Danger Zone map as well. Again, I suck at spotting most of these, but I can confirm that the interiors are much better lit now than they were before, being brighter and nicer in general. And the water shader, when set to low or medium, now represents the general colour palette of the map better than it did previously, where it went a bit too greeny off in the distance. The end of the Broken Fang operation sees some of its features it introduced to the game remaining in it in some form or fashion. Retake mode remains a thing, as does the premiere feature for matchmaking, and I would expect this to be prioritised in the future to cut down on matchmaking waiting times. Train, although removed from active duty, is still available to play in the game right now, but only in reserves. We say goodbye to the community-made maps Apollo, Anubis and Engage, and hello to Grind and Mocha. Mocha is the 5th map to be featured in the game from the top 10 of Mapcore's 2019 Exotic Places competition. The ones we've seen already have been Mutiny, Swamp, Anubis and Chlorine. The other new map, Grind, is a little bit more unexpected, being an older map that I guess was sort of overlooked at the time. But its makers are familiar names to me. Rizul being known for Engage, and I know Horse Strangler for his name, and some of the maps he's made. Just as I was getting used to them, the Wingman maps, Elysian and Guard, have been taken out and replaced with Calavera and Pit Stop. Pit Stop is rather self-explanatory, taking place in that Hitman level with the fast cars everywhere. And Calavera is a Day of the Dead themed map, which was apparently planned for the operation but then cut before release. Broken Fang may be over, but now we can receive the Snakebite case, containing 17 new community-made skins and 24 possible glove drops. The new CSGO 360 stats feature comes as a bit of a surprise. It's a subscription-based service where you can pay $1 a month and it will track and display all of your competitive and wingman losses and wins. This is something that other sites can already do for you for free. This feature is still viewable to people who don't subscribe, but it will only display your existing stats. So my horrendous 30% win rate during Broken Fang will just sit there haunting me forever, until I pay for the chance of making them better again. Or worse. The idea of a monthly subscription to CSGO is intriguing, though Valve could do a lot more to make this feature appealing in my opinion. Priority matchmaking, more drops, cheaper operation passes, that kind of thing. But I'm curious, which of you will pay for this feature in its current state? The chickens have had a visual makeover. Their old models were a bit plasticine-y and blobby, but the new ones are crisp and sharp. Just the way I like my chicken. It was at this point when making this video that I went off on a day-long tangent to investigate these things, so check out my dedicated chicken video if you'd like to know more about them. Their polygon count is now higher than most characters were in Half-Life 2. Their comb and wattle remain wobbly, though slightly less so than before. But I do love their slight beak wobble. Very chicken. The game has received several security and stability improvements, and as well as these has fixed a problem with an earlier patch that caused custom maps with custom textures to turn black. I know it happened to a few of my maps, but thanks to my laziness I didn't get around to fixing them, and now I don't have to because the problem has fixed itself. A fix for fog has been rolled out. Previously, the boost player contrast feature was making player models visible well beyond the range of the fog, meaning that they appear to be floating in the air. It sounds like a really specific problem to be fixed, but it will help anybody who happens to be working on a large, foggy level, possibly with multiple insertion points. I must say, it's a relief to see these sorts of updates again. I much prefer to have regular patch notes to read, and the duration of an operation is always a bit of a dry spell for that sort of stuff. So, on to the future.